All right, I think we're live. Thanks for coming in. Sorry to be doing this during the halftime of Monday Night Football, but time ran against me. Anyway, wanted to go through the UCL slate this week. Champions League coming back, pretty cool on Thanksgiving week. Hope also you're not facing Cooper Kupp in fantasy as he's crushing it right now. Anywho, okay, so to the first game's on Tuesday, starting tomorrow. Krasnodar hosting Sevilla. It looks like about three quarters. Sevilla's giving on the road. Sevilla's in an interesting spot because they have to win essentially to keep pace with Chelsea. Chelsea's been playing really well. I'm not really optimistic that they're going to fare very well until they basically have to beat Chelsea when they play them, is what it seems like, especially after a 0-0 draw on the road. I think any road goal would be huge for Chelsea. So Sevilla has to win. The tiebreaker, unless there's another 0-0 draw, which seems very unlikely to have two of them in the same matchup, then Sevilla's going to have to finish ahead of Chelsea to win tiebreakers. And so that's going to be really hard to do. Krasnodar, I think they were up. They had a lead. Sevilla was down a man due to a red card, yet Sevilla came back and won, which is a pretty big deal. It might have even been 2-0. Sevilla's great at possessing the ball, haven't been playing very well in La Liga, haven't been able to score very well, and that's been their biggest problem. I think they might have another problem with that tomorrow, but this line only asks them to win by a goal, and that's probably something they can handle. Krasnodar, I think they've played fairly well so far. Haven't really had much to show for it. They've been kind of a thorn in the side of the bigger clubs, but I can't really see them performing very well tomorrow. So not really interested in backing Krasnodar unless the line jumps a bunch. Even at +1, I'm not sure I want that. Next is Rennes. They're hosting Chelsea. Rennes been pretty bad. Lost to Bordeaux on Friday after the international break, came back. Thought maybe they were tired legs or some other things that you could complain about, but they've been pretty bad. Seems like their squad is stretched too thin between French Ligue 1 and Champions League. Camavinga did return on Friday. Didn't do too much, as I don't think Rennes even scored. Lost to Bordeaux. Not sure if it was at home. Anyway, Chelsea's been playing really well. They've been shutting out English Premier League opponents who probably are better than Rennes, or at least are on par. And then their offense is so good, even if Pulisic doesn't play, which he probably won't. Chelsea laying a full goal on the road seems like it's pretty fair. I don't know who's backing Rennes in this situation. That probably climbs. So if you like Rennes, I'd wait. Those are the two early matches tomorrow. Got to say the favorites are interesting in both to win. Krasnodar, if the line climbs, maybe it's worth being a little bit against Sevilla, but nothing too much there for me. Next, we go to Borussia Dortmund hosting Bruges. Giving a goal in three quarters is a lot. Dortmund's defense has been very good though so far this season. They came back from a deficit on the weekend. I think Haaland has 4 goals. He's awesome. Really scores every time he's got a chance, it seems. Bruges is going to have to sit back and try to stop that from happening. Don't really see them doing much even on counterattacks against a veteran Borussia Dortmund defense. So can they stay within 2 goals? Is not asking for that yet. Probably gets there and closes there. Maybe Bruges, I think, has done okay so far in Champions League play, but once they give up that first goal, Borussia Dortmund is probably going to get more than 2. So I think it's ultimately, if you're going to back Bruges here, you're going to need to get 2 goals, and you're going to hope that they score, because you're not safe if they don't score at all. Then I think you're probably hoping for a push. Not interested in doing that. Dynamo Kiev hosts Barcelona. They're only getting 3/4 of a goal. That should definitely climb to 1 by the time kickoff happens, as it's already seeing some juice on the 3/4 side of Barcelona. Barca coming off a pretty bad loss this weekend to Atletico Madrid. Not that Atleti's bad or anything, but just I think it was the first time Simeone has ever beaten Barcelona. Dynamo Kiev, they were pretty close. They're in a tight game with Barcelona last time they played, despite a lot of COVID suspensions or people out. Not sure what to call that. Missing players due to COVID. Not sure that they really can keep it that close again. I think Barcelona kind of took them pretty lightly and rotated their team quite a bit. Definitely not interested in stepping in without getting a full goal, and even if it gets there, probably too low. Lazio hosting Zenit, St. Petersburg. Lazio's been a tough team to handicap, I think, because of COVID has been running rampant through their team. I think they got Immobile back this weekend. They've been playing better, but still have some work to do, I think, to make sure that they're advancing. Zenit has been okay. I feel like they've got a lot of the Russian team who we watched all in the World Cup, so it might be a little bit more interested in them than I should be. But Lazio laying 3/4 right now. I don't really see much in that interest in that side at all. So it'd be Zenit or nothing. Maybe if they caught a full goal, it might be interesting. It looks like it's going to trend there. But definitely need to do some more digging. As Lazio, they've like escaped pretty late in some matches. Caicedo, I believe, has scored 2 goals to either draw or win matches after like top stoppage time should have been over. That's not a good sign. Struggling in Serie A, but facing a Russian league team might be a little bit better for softer competition. But I think I'd only look at the Zenit side if they got a full goal. Next, Juve hosting Ferencváros. Kind of surprising to see this above 2, but Juventus is getting healthier. Ronaldo's back, and they're starting to, I think, put the pedal to the metal. Ferencváros, I think, is not much to say about them. Wasn't even really sure what country they were in before this whole started. I think Portugal, but I probably could be wrong. Probably am wrong. Not much to do there, though. Juve hasn't been that great. Dybala hasn't done anything all season. Ronaldo's been good, as he always is. And then there's a bunch of bodies in the midfield that don't really do much. Not really sure I want anything to do with that game, but certainly we're rooting for the underdog, as that's my life. Then PSG hosting Leipzig. PSG giving a full goal is a lot. It really is. Leipzig ended up coming back from a goal behind and probably deserved more than just a draw this weekend at Frankfurt. They won the last match, but both Neymar and Mbappe missed. PSG threw away a 2-goal lead at halftime in their return from international break play on Friday. Wasn't sure that Thomas Tuchel would even have the job when he got off the plane. He's got to go. That run in the Champions League last summer post-COVID was just extended the stay of execution, essentially. But PSG giving a goal, they haven't been playing very well. I'm not sure they have a lot of challengers in France, unfortunately. But Leipzig is a good team. They show that they are definitely flawed, getting smoked by Bayern Munich, by Manchester United on the road at Old Trafford. But catching a full goal, and the juice is on the PSG side right now. It's going to be really hard for me to resist, as I think this will be a tight one, probably a match that will decide who advances. But I like the Leipzig side a lot here, as I think they're talented. 5-0 losses, I mean, they happen, I guess, especially when it was 0-0 at halftime. But certainly can't play defense like that. I think Nagelsmann sent a message and took Upamecano out at halftime against Frankfurt after going a goal behind. That might have been disciplinary. He's been saying some negative things in the press. Ultimately, we'll see what happens, but definitely want to check lineups, especially with COVID, as I think everyone should wait to see all that sort of stuff going. But should see a full lineup here, I think, from Leipzig. They played a little bit of a rotated lineup in the first half, brought in their studs at halftime. I think made 3 changes at the break. So who knows what the lineup's going to look like from Nagelsmann, but he generally knows what he's doing. He's been pushing the envelope, and I think that's why Leipzig has been pretty good and up there in the Bundesliga title race. And catching a goal is enough for me to be against PSG, who I think is nowhere near as good as the market perceives them to be, or at least the money that flows in for them. And then last one is Manchester United hosting Başakşehir. Manchester United almost had a goalless draw against the worst team in English Premier League this weekend, if not for a penalty and then a penalty retake after it was saved. I don't like them at all. They've been awful in English Premier League play. They've had that big win against Leipzig, as I just mentioned, and winning at PSG was pretty impressive. But those UCL performances, those two were a great start. Then they lost in Istanbul, which doesn't say a ton because it's on the road, but had a really awful first goal they let up, and the second one wasn't much better. So I'm definitely interested in Başakşehir catching almost 2 goals. It looks like it's going to close 1 3/4. That's more than enough for me to be against Manchester United. I'm sorry, but they can have my money if they win by 2 goals or 3 goals or whatever it takes to take the full unit from me. I've lost on much worse bets that I'll feel much worse about, including Real Betis today, who is just god awful. But that's not one that I would feel bad about losing money on. As I think Besiktas is decent, and Manchester United it's kind of indescribable how they keep getting bet based on their performances. So now we move to Wednesday. Mönchengladbach giving a full goal to Shakhtar after a 6-0 thrashing. Gladbach, I think, has had some health issues with Playa testing positive for COVID, which has been a problem for their offense. I saw Mbolo this weekend, but I'm not sure that Thuram did too much after playing a bunch for France in the international break. Giving a goal makes sense. It probably should even be a little higher. The juice is trending that direction. Shakhtar's a decent story. They've shown they can compete. They played pretty well, made it pretty deep in the Europa League last year. That's the only side I want as I'm a dog player, but I'm not sure I want it. Other early game is Olympiacos hosting Manchester City. Man City, tough result this weekend. Maybe they deserved a goal to stand, but probably weren't winning the match against Tottenham anyway. But maybe a draw is a fair result. I'm not sure. I think they deserve to lose personally, but could argue that. Giving a goal and a half to Olympiacos, who's going to play very defensive football and is going to sit back and try to make sure that Man City deserves the goals that they earn. Can they do that? Probably. Man City is so scary and has so much talent, and I think their defense is playing better, not just because of a strategic thing, but I think their defense is better than a lot of people think. But only interested in the Olympiacos side catching a goal and a half, and not sure that's enough to get involved. Inter hosting Real Madrid, giving a quarter based on Real Madrid missing a bunch due to COVID or injury. I'm not sure if Ramos is going to be available, but Madrid really probably needs to play well here. Lukaku returned for Inter Milan and also played for Belgium, so he should be in there. I don't see anything about Real Madrid that I want to back. Took an early lead against Villarreal this weekend, couldn't hold on to it. I don't think so. Anyway, they scored a first goal in like 3 minutes with some guy that never plays. Line is going to be pretty decimated from what I see right now, but certainly if you like the Real Madrid side, you might get a little more if the lineups come out and they're ugly. But only thing I'd want here is Inter, and I doubt they're going to get to pick them, so probably pass on that one. Bayern Munich hosting Salzburg. It should be a high-scoring game. Szoboszlai, I think, is, if he's not already on the way to Leipzig, he's going to be there soon enough. But Bayern's going to score, name their score. They struggled this weekend with Werder Bremen, which is a big surprise, but I think that only makes Bayern play even better. Like, they're giving 3 goals in German league play, and now they're giving 2.25 here. It seems way too short to have any interest in Salzburg. Atleti hosting Lokomotiv Moscow. So I had Loco in the first matchup. It was pretty close, so I think João Felix missed a bunch of chances and could have gone another way. Atleti now coming in off a huge win in Barcelona. That's going to be really hard to get up for a Russian team. Maybe the Champions League standings and having to finish second to Bayern is important enough that it affects how they play and they take this seriously. But this feels like a snoozer for them. And they have to win by 2 goals to cover. And a 2-goal win would only take half my unit. It's going to be very hard for me to avoid Lokomotiv Moscow, assuming they're playing the Russian internationals that we all know, kind of similar to the Zenit team that we know half of them because they seem to play for both of those clubs. Next, Marseille hosting Porto. Marseille needs to win here to have any chance at advancing. Not sure that they will. Porto was, I think, favored to be the second team to advance behind City in the group. Makes sense with being favored slightly on the road at Marseille. Might be close. I think I'd have some interest in Marseille if they start catching a fraction. Might head there as they're a plus money underdog right now and pick them. But I'm not sure. I'm not interested at this moment. Liverpool hosting Atalanta. Atalanta has been really struggling. Liverpool played great this weekend, but I think a lot of that swung based on an own goal early, and that kind of changed the way Leicester was playing and then opened up. The second goal for Liverpool was pretty good. Liverpool, I mean, Fabinho back is a big deal at center back because then they're only placing 1 rather than 2, and Matip has been around before. So seemed to be a lot healthier than expected. Money was rolling in on them all week, all international break, even with Salah missing, which I think he'll miss tomorrow as well, or Wednesday. I'm just not interested in that Atlanta side. Unfortunately, I don't see them putting up much of a fight. Then the last one is Ajax hosting Midtjylland. I think Ajax given a goal and a half. They've been playing really well in league play. Have pretty much held their own in the group so far. Midtjylland seems like they're taking on water at all times, so I'm not interested in that side either. Futures wrap up. So I got Atalanta to win the group. That looks terrible. They need to beat Liverpool tomorrow. That's probably not going to happen. I have Sevilla to win the group. They're just going to come down to what they do against Chelsea, assuming they at least hang within a few points. And then it's a tiebreaker of how they perform against them. So we'll see what happens. And then Leipzig to advance. It was a huge win against PSG the first time. They need to do it again, or hope that Manchester United keeps fading, which I don't see a lot from Manchester United, despite starting as well as you could with 2 wins in the first 2 matches. But anyway, that's 16 minutes. Hope it comes through and you get back to the Monday Night Football. But thanks for joining, and I look forward to seeing you for the weekend's action after Thanksgiving.